Let's talk about the anxious and avoidant relationship dynamic. How does that look practically in relationships? So, my friend, the intention I had for this video is to actually try to embody both the anxious and then the avoidant attachment style so that you can see clearly by demonstrating it what are some of the beliefs, behavioral patterns, thought patterns, like what are some of the coping mechanisms and strategies both the anxious and the avoidant has in relationships. And if you can see it clearly, maybe you'll be able to recognize yourself in these behaviors that I will channel in a moment. And then by the end of the video, I'll also talk about some of the realizations that you have if you're an anxious attachment style, if you're more of an anxious person, and some of the realizations that you would have if you are an avoidant attachment style and more of an avoidant person in your dating life and in your relationships. These realizations, of course, they will help you become secure so that you can eventually get into a healthy long-term relationship with your dream partner. That being the case, let's directly get into a video. So what are some of the like key character traits and like some of the beliefs, some of the behavioral patterns, thought patterns of the anxious attachment style? When he starts dating, when he likes somebody, or when she likes somebody and she starts dating, and then she finds that she's actually attracted to an avoidant. Well, the anxious it's like they're always thinking that they might do something wrong and lose the attraction that they have worked so hard to build. Because maybe in the childhood, the anxious attachment style, they have found that for them to receive love from their parents and caregivers, they needed to always please their needs. They needed to always behave in a certain way and not in another way. And from childhood, they understood that if I don't behave the way my partner wants me to behave, I don't deserve to be loved. So I will never be good enough for the woman or the man I love. And I always need to pretend to like compromise my values to be the way they want me to be so that I can be loved by them. So how this looks practically, it's something like, let's say a conflict happens between you and the person you are dating. And the anxious would like react in similar way to, oh, oh, what did I do wrong? Maybe I didn't have to react that way. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe um maybe I needed to be somebody else. Um I'll now lose him. Maybe they will never love him. Maybe they will never love me. I did something wrong. I need to shift my behavior. I need to shift my thinking. Maybe I need to say something differently. I need to ask them, how do I need to behave to be liked again? What did I do wrong? And so these are some of the thought patterns. These are some of the behavioral patterns. Anytime a conflict arises, anytime, let's say, your avoidant partner, because anxious attachment styles, anxious people, they always attract avoidance. Like they're the two opposite sides of a magnet, and they attract one another because both the anxious and the avoidant are unbalanced. Both of them believe that there is not enough love to go around. They're not secure within the love they feel within themselves. They're not secure about the love they feel within themselves. And so again, the anxious would always think that they did something wrong. They would always think that, and it's like you can see this in your behavior if you're an anxious person. When you're dating somebody, whenever like they disagree with you, the first thoughts that you have in your mind is, what did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? No, maybe I didn't have to say that. How did I have to react so that they like me? Oh, maybe I am not good enough from within. I'm not good enough the way I am, and I need to be the way they need me to be so that I can be loved and liked by them consistently. And so I'm anxious. I'm anxiously, like, anytime a conflict happens, I will like try to go towards that person. I will chase him. I will try to possess him in a way. I will try to ask him, what did I do wrong? Tell me, how can I be better? And this is like a really possessive, really needy attitude. But then the avoidant, now if we go to the side of the avoidant, and now I have to switch roles. And now I'm the avoidant. Now the avoidant, when they experience conflict, They're like, and like the anxious starts being really attached and starts feeling needy and starts being needy and possessive. Then the avoidant will be something like, "Hmm, I'm they're taking my freedom. I cannot spend any more time with this person. They will take my freedom. They will take my free will. They will control me too much. I need to go to work. I need to catch up with my friends. I don't need to spend time with them because if I do, then I will lose my freedom. I can't lose my freedom. Nobody else should tell me how I should live and like what I should do, and like nobody else should try to take my freedom from me. So I am busy. I'm busy. I really need some time for myself. Mm, I can't do that right now. I can't have that conversation. I'm busy with work. This is this is some of the thought patterns, some of the behaviors that the avoidant embodies when they feel that their freedom is like is endangered. And so then the anxious becomes more anxious. And now if I go to the role of the anxious, then the anxious is, oh no, I did more things wrong. Oh, what's happening? I'm losing them. No, it's so bad. Like I don't see how they need space. I see that I'm losing them. I did something wrong. I don't deserve their love. And so maybe things are over. Oh, fuck, I fell, right? So it is something like that. This is how it looks. And then the avoidants, they always, when they feel pressured, when they feel that their freedom is restricted, when they feel like somebody is needing them too much, they assume that they wouldn't be able to be themselves anymore. And like somebody, like the anxious wants to take the life from me. They want to take the life from me. I need to run away. I need to hide. I need to like uh, overwhelm myself with work. I need to focus on other things in my life because like we're in conflict and I see how my anxious partner is chasing me. So I need to run away. By running away, I feel safe. I feel safe that I can be myself. I can have the freedom to do whatever I want, and like nobody will possess me and overwhelm me with their love and affection, so that I need to rely on them. Because if I rely on them, then I wouldn't be able to be free because I rely on somebody else. And so the avoidant is too self-reliant. The avoidant is always like um, thinking that they have to do everything alone. They cannot rely on anybody else because they might do a bad job and they might not care for me the way I want to be cared. So the avoidant is too self-sufficient. Self-sufficient in such a way that they push intimacy, they push romantic attraction, they push away passion from their life. They're too intellectual most of the time. They're too solution oriented, and they cannot be they're not allowing themselves to be humans. They're not allowing themselves to be weak, to like rely on others, to need others help, their partners help. And again, this all of these behaviors, they are not in alignment with a long-term healthy partnership, because in a long-term healthy partnership, it's perfectly fine to rely on your partner from time to time, which doesn't mean that you will like you won't be free because you rely on them and you'll be codependent. No, this is not what I say. I say that like you want to rely on your partner from time to time to make them feel special, to make them feel like they can care for you, to make them feel like they can be there for you when you need them. And this builds emotional connection, this builds trust, this allows for intimacy to be created, to be ignited within the relationship you have. Because if you're always self-sufficient and you're an avoidant and you're always rely on yourself too much, you never allow others to help you, you can never build a connection with anybody. Because every time that somebody tries to get closer, you push them away. You'll feel threatened. Your freedom will feel threatened, and you'll be like, no, I can be by myself. And then you'll find yourself, oof, why everybody is so possessive? Why it's like I cannot find somebody who is mature enough? Why I always have to rely on myself? Does everybody feel that lonely? And I feel lonely even though I cannot accept somebody else to take part in my life. So again, these are some of the patterns that the avoidant goes through. And now, okay, we understood a little bit about what is the dynamic, and this dynamic, it naturally unfolds. It spontaneously unfolds anytime there is a conflict, anytime there is a disagreement, anytime there is like a difference in interests, in values, which again is perfectly normal. It's like, obviously, in every relationship that you would have, you wouldn't align 100% with your partner, because if this is the case, then there wouldn't be space for growth, and each of you will be growing in that relationship, right? Because it's like relationship, part of them are about growth. So if you don't grow from the relationship, then what's the more spiritual, metaphysical need for it? It's like it doesn't have any higher purpose. So it's natural that maybe 60 to 70% of your values will align, and then the rest of them, the rest 30 40% would be different. And this is like, this difference is like what will allow the required space for both of you to learn from one another. So if you're an anxious, you learn how to be more secure within yourself and how to rely on yourself more. And now let's get actually to this part of the video. So what are the two main lessons that the anxious or the avoidant needs to learn? And I'm saying that by I'm being more of an anxious attachment style, and I'm healing that from, like, I think 2 or 3 years already. So I'm also on that journey. I cannot say I have fully completed it, but it's like, for me, and like in my relationships, I see that I'm becoming more and more secure, no matter what stage of attraction I am with, no matter what stage of, like, attraction I am with somebody I'm dating. So I'm feeling secure of love. And I found, like, these lessons to be the same lessons that, let's say, the anxious people that I have worked with personally learn through their journey, and the avoidant people that I have worked with personally, again, learn when they want to build greater intimacy, greater emotional connection and depth, and greater, like, mm, transparency, emotional transparency, again, within that relationship. So the biggest lesson that the anxious learns is basically that it's like, it's a realization that eventually will come in your journey, and you can affirm it from now if you find yourself that you're anxious, if you have an anxious attachment style. Because the faster you realize that and you embody that truth within yourself, the faster you'll be able to feel secure about love. So this truth is that you do not need anybody to complete you, because you are already in a relationship with yourself. So the relationship you seek on the outside, the love that you seek on the outside, like, first you need to learn to give yourself that love. So you need to learn to regulate. Anytime you feel like any form of attachment, negative feelings, you need to find, within yourself, you need to detach from the other person and give yourself what you wanted to get from them. So you need to become more self-reliable, self-sufficient. You need to be able to regulate. And it's by understanding this simple. And you can, if you want to, like, claim it, if you want to affirm it, you can comment it down below. It's this simple truth that is so hard to accept, but ultimately, if you contemplate about it, it makes sense. And it's basically the truth that I am already in a relationship with myself. Now, who is the I that is in a relationship with itself? The I am, this is your awareness of being, your presence awareness of being. It's always there on the background. And so part of the qualities, part of the traits, the virtues, the beautiful traits that you become attached to in others, you can give and develop within yourself, and you can learn to rely on yourself more. So if you're an anxious person, it helps a lot to journal, it helps a lot to meditate, to have a yoga practice, whatever it is that helps you regulate your feelings, whatever it is that helps you let go of your attachments. And this truth, I am already in a relationship with myself. Like, it's already the case. It has been the case since I was born, and it will be the case until the moment I die. When you realize that and you accept it, then it starts making sense that you're the one who is responsible to make yourself feel good whenever you don't. When you feel lonely, you're the one to give yourself the company that you want. When you feel neglected, you're the one to give yourself the attention and affection you want. When you feel sad that you've been rejected, you're the one that you should encourage yourself, not your partner. So you need to learn to regulate, self-regulate, to stay there with your feelings, to let them go, to be present within your body. Because ultimately, like the feelings that you're running away from, if you're able to, instead of running away, accept them within yourself, no matter how negative or positive they are, because you understand, I am already in a relationship with myself. Myself, who is that? Myself is your identity that has all these limiting beliefs, thought patterns, behaviors that are making you be attached and rely too much on others for you to feel good within yourself. So, and since you are already, your presence awareness is already in a relationship with your identity, the more you get to know yourself better by committing on this self-awareness journey, the easier it will be for you to regulate and to feel confident and secure within the love that you can already feel within. Because love is an inside feeling. And if you consistently feel that love within and radiate it on the outside, then when you find yourself dating an avoidant attachment, you'll be able to be more committed with your boundaries, more attached to your boundaries than you're attached to that person. And when that happens, it's so much easier to like just qualify whether they're the right person for you or whether they're not, and consistently do that inner work so that you can again experience that love from the inside. And the more of it you experience, the better partners you'll find, and eventually with somebody you'll just match. You have your visions match to at least 60 to 70%, meaning that you can have a like journey together in life through which you can move. So this is the biggest lesson that the anxious realizes. But the avoidant, now for the avoidant, it's a little bit different. For the avoidant, like you don't have a problem of being alone. You don't have a problem to regulate your feelings. In fact, you have too much strategies, so much strategies and so much tools for relying on yourself that you have become too like comfortable within yourself and you don't need others. But the truth that you forget is that you are not living alone. We are social creatures. You are not living alone. You are not the only person on this planet. You will have contact with others. You are not living alone. So if you're not living alone in this planet, you're not living alone to always be self-sufficient, meaning that sometimes it's in your benefit and in others' benefit to rely on them. It's okay to trust others, even though your heart might be hurt, even though you might be hurting from the past relationships in which you were betrayed, in which you were abandoned, let's say. Actually, the chances are that you are betrayed, not abandoned. The anxious would feel abandoned. The anxious would feel the wound of abandonment, while the avoidant would have the wound of betrayal, because they then develop all these coping strategies and mechanisms with which to be self-reliant, self-sufficient to such an extent that they push other people away. So what you need to realize and integrate within yourself is co-regulation. It's not just self-regulation. You're actually too good in self-regulation. You have all these like habits that you have developed along the way to whenever you feel bad, whenever you feel that your freedom is endangered, whenever you feel that the other person is trying to take your freedom away or like to be too possessive of you, and you do not like your individuality, your uniqueness, your identity doesn't feel safe because somebody else is trying to take over, right? This is how it feels if you're an avoidant. So, and you have developed all this strategy to self-regulate. So you're good at that. But what you need to develop within yourself is like co-regulation. So for you, you should learn how to speak your feelings, how to share your feelings transparently, genuinely, honestly, be able to be heard again. become vulnerable. You're afraid of vulnerability, my friend. If you're an avoidant, you fear vulnerability deeply. You also fear intimacy. You do not want to share yourself with others because you might be hurt. And you don't want that. That inner child of yours is afraid. It's perfectly fine. But understand, you're not living alone in this world. You live in a world with other people. You're a social creature. And you're too good with like too good with self regulating. Now you need to learn how to co-regulate, and this can start from the current relationship you have, or it can start like with your colleagues in the job that you have. It can start with your friends. It doesn't have to be necessarily with your romantic partner, which by the way is like where this work can be um, where it can happen the fastest, like this going from an avoidant to secure or from anxious to secure. But it can start from whatever relationship you have. So the more vulnerable you are able to be with your feelings, the more transparent you are able to be with your feelings, the more you are able to rely on others to another, the closer you be to becoming secure within yourself about allowing somebody to love you and not endanger and restrict your freedom, because this is not the again it's not the purpose of romantic relationships. You're not you Obviously you don't want to depend on another, right? It's like you don't want to become dependent on one another and like be in a toxic relationship, but at the same time you cannot be living on an island alone and your partner is like on the other side of the island with all the other people. Your anxious partner is on the other side of the island with all the other people on the continent, and then you want to have a relationship with them. It's not possible because there is so much space between you, and this space, like, from time to time you need to allow your anxious partner to build a bridge, connect with you, and like share your for you to come together and for you to share your feelings with them transparently, and to rely, like to be able to rely on them for some things in life. Maybe let them help you with the problem that you're experiencing. Um maybe allow yourself to just be weak and like let them help you find a solution to an emotional like challenge that you have on the inside. Let them be there for you. It's okay. It's not like they won't betray you. It's not necessary for them to betray you, so you can open again. It's fine. It's like it's better to open up and be hurt than it is to stay closed and never be able to experience intimacy and emotional connection. Because I know you're terrified of being lonely and at the same time you're pushing people away. It's the paradox. It's the same with the anxious. The anxious is terrified from being in from depending like from the anxious is being terrified from losing themselves for another person, but this is what they're doing. They're compromising their values too much. They're not connected to their boundaries. They please others too much, and they are terrified from being abandoned, and so they abandon themselves. This is what the anxious wants. But the avoidant, it's like it harbors the wound of betrayal, and that's why they weren't like the avoidant weren't to regulate. They learn to be self-sufficient, to rely on themselves in this world, to not trust others. You cannot trust others, right? Like others are not to be trusted. This is what you believe. This is some of the beliefs. And so it's like anytime somebody tries to get too much of you, like they want to get closer, they spend a little bit more time with you. As the example I gave in the beginning of this video, like they become anxiously insecure about you and they want to spend a little bit more time because the anxious, they want to be reassured. Like if you have an anxious person, a partner, and you are an avoidant, it's in your benefit to reassure your anxious partner, to let them know that, hey, it's okay. Even though that I don't show my love as much as you do, I want you to know that you're loved. And I know it can be hard to say that because they might be too attached to you and restrict your freedom, but they need reassurance. While you need connection, you need intimacy, you need to be vulnerable, you need to open up, you need to co-regulate, to allow yourself to fix some of your problems even in your personal life, to allow your partner to help you with that, to rely on them little by little, every day, little by little, increase that. So this, my friend, is what are the dynamics between the anxious and the avoidant. At least some of them. Obviously, I wouldn't be able to cover all of them in one simple and single video, but I hope that you find that you have like been able to realize some of them by watching this video. And now, if you found it useful, if this is the case, like it, comment down below. Let me know if you find videos about anxious and avoidant attachment styles useful, valuable. If this is the case, let me know in the comments. I would love to make more of them, but I need the reassurance that you like them. So please make sure you comment down below if you like these kind of videos. That being the case, I also, if you find yourself to be an anxious attachment style, I wanna like, my English is great, by the way. I want you to check out this other video that I have in which I explain how I'm moving from an anxious to a secure attachment style. As I told you, I'm also on that journey. I haven't completed it. I think it's like it takes years. It's not so easy, but yeah, I'm definitely feeling more and more secure within myself that I can experience love. So definitely check out this video if you're anxious and you want to go deeper into that to see what are some of the beliefs that you face and that you need to let go of. And yeah, if you want to commit on doing that inner work. That being the case, my friend, again, if you like this video, like it, comment down below. If you want to share something about, I don't know, what are the lessons you're learning, about the challenges that you're facing, let me know. Also, if you have any questions, comment down below. If you're also new to the channel, to the Soulful Relationships channel, my intention with the channel is to help you experience the most conscious, uplifting, and meaningful relationships. So if this is a value you have that you share with me, subscribe to the channel, and I would love to see you around. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video, my friend. I love you. Bye-bye.